Streaming live on WHITradio.org in High Tech High School in North Bergen, New Jersey to Wake Up High Tech. I'm your announcer, Crazy Carlos, and now your returning host this week, Sam the Man.
Alright, I'm Sam the Man. That's Ratchet Richie, Crazy Carlos. I missed yesterday. I'm back today. We're going to start the conversation off with a little bit about the playoff football that happened. Was it a catch? Was it not a catch? I don't think it was a catch. Richie's going to weigh in his... As a Packers fan, I can already, tell you what his answer is going to be. But, Richie, what do you think it was?
Absolutely not a catch. And I'm going to give you two big reasons why. Number one being, as he fell to the ground, ball was not secure. Also known as Calvin Johnson rule. If you look at the replay, ball popped out of his arm, was on top of his shoulder. To me, that's not a catch. To me, that's also not secure to me, a.k.a. not a catch. And two, a lot of people are arguing that, it's a catch, it's not a catch. At the end of the day, without the arguing, without even thinking about the catch, the rule has been in place for years.
Yeah.
It's been used. It really, for the most part, has not been inaccurate in calling. So I don't understand why there's even an argument, to be honest.
Well, I think the argument comes from the people who thought it was a catch, and, it was a really big deal in the game. It's the difference between, possibly winning and losing for the Cowboys. So, of course they're going to argue about it. I just don't see how it could have been a catch, and I really don't think that Cowboys fans really, understand.
There it is.
We have it up on the video right now. I think that you can clearly see, whereas he did take a couple steps, I think he only took one step with the ball secure before it hit the ground, and I think that was not a catch. But, so as we continue our discussion, I think that it was very, in poor taste for the Cowboys to, dispute this call when, we saw last week, some Cowboys fans, Skip Bayless calling it the biggest playoff robbery since the Tuck rule. Of course, the Raiders,
right?
the Raiders won the game. The Raiders lost the game because it was considered not a fumble because of the Tuck rule. And, they haven't been the same since. But I think that, no, if it was a robbery, it's the greatest robbery since last week when they stole the game from the Lions with the horrible officiating. And I think the short-term memory loss from Cowboys fans, And
I think we have a call this week, over past Sunday, that was actually a good call.
Yeah.
Refs are sticking by the rules. It's not like they changed the rule or went a different way. At the end of the day, the rules rule. And it's just the way the game's played.
But I don't know. I believe I watched to the end of the game, and I didn't see. I wish they would have showed a shot of Chris Christie being disappointed because I'm very disappointed with him as governor. In a recent article on December 28th, I was reading this, and it was discussing. It's from the New York Times, one of my favorite websites, newspapers,
etc.
It was discussing how this time around, the last year, he spent 152 days, or 42% of his time, outside of New Jersey, and he spent 137 days inside. Going out to places like it says here that he endorsed the Keystone Pipeline. But he vetoed a bill. But he has remained silent on a pipeline that would run through New Jersey. I just think that this shows how, even as much as he claims he's different than other politicians, how he's really just the same as all of them. And especially what I really don't like is how can you do all this, spend this much time outside of your state, then not only call yourself the governor of that state, but have an "aw shucks, I don't know, you guys are flattering me with the he's all the time like, "aw shucks, you guys are flattering me with the whole president thing, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna run yet."
We also have the fact that
run.
I really, if my memory serves me, 2 years ago was a Giants fan.
Hold on, I'm not gonna sit here and be mad at him for being a Cowboys fan or claim that he switched sides. I really, I
think he switched sides.
As a politician, I could care less what his favorite sports team was. What I do care about is the fact that he spent most of his time outside of New Jersey.
That right there is kind of crazy. He's governor of the state. He's not even in it.
I mean, it's just, it's insane. And, a reporter asked him and said, if the Cowboys win and go to Seattle, are you going to go to the game? And he said, oh, yeah, I guess I have to, right? No, what you have to do is you have to stay in New Jersey and help us, fix whatever. I mean, he started out strong with Sandy, but then, kind of, drifted away from it.
For instance, we still have that underground train station being built on Route 3, which has been, not making progress for, 2 years already. That's something we got to work on.
Either say you're running for president and resign the governor spot right now, give it up to somebody else, somebody who actually cares about this state.
Someone who's actually going to do something.
It seems like you don't at this point. You don't really care what we have to say, apparently, because, so many people voted. So many people showed disapproval about these pig cages, but you still vetoed the bill and still wanted to have those because of Iowa. It seems like you don't care about this state, and, give it up to somebody who actually does care, and please just say you're running for president already and get your funds or whatever you need from other Republican donors. So, in other news...
Damn, beef.
That was a great segue, though, Sam, from the catch to Chris Christie. That was fantastic.
It was.
Thank you.
I was about to tell him that.
So, I thought we were doing sports. I thought I'd add a little bit of politics into it. But, great game last night. Sort of great game. Oregon, Ohio State. I mean, it was, everything I thought it was going to be. I think that, Urban Meyer, how can you
go down to your third string quarterback and win the national championship?
It's just, he's just an insanely good coach. I mean, it's absolutely, beyond comprehension how good of a coach he is.
The other things I took away from the game was, first of all, Cardale Jones, great quarterback.
Great talent.
Great talent. Ezekiel Elliott, another great talent. Quick, fast, hits the holes. I like him a lot. And my biggest takeaway, I think, what really decided the game and the reason why Ohio State won by 22 points, their offensive line
oh my God.
is absolutely dominant. Just domination.
It's not only that, it's the attitude. I mean, you would see on pass plays, I would see Ezekiel Elliott, go down.
I was counting 1, 2, 3,
on pass plays,
4,
no, not only did
5.
Cardale Jones have a ton of time, but I would see on pass plays or on other plays when maybe Cardale Jones would take off, I would see Ezekiel Elliott lay a demolishing block on somebody. I mean, this is just a back and a team that wants to do it all to win. And you know what else I came away from the game? Oregon squandered way too many opportunities. When you go against a team that has 4 turnovers and you don't win,
besides the interception at the end, when you consider all the other turnovers and the turnover margin, Oregon is, in the past years, always took the opportunities and took the turnovers and made it the reason they win. It's one of their biggest
they're one of the biggest traits.
Their turnover margin just is one of their biggest assets. And yesterday, I don't know if they were just...
They still had the turnover, just they didn't use it to their advantage. And I think that a lot of that was, I think Mark Helfrich, I think that he choked under pressure.
Yeah.
I really think he did.
And I honestly think after... Marcus Mariota had a good game yesterday.
Yeah.
It's how he had the good game that I feel, in a way, somewhat hurts his draft stock. And I'm going to explain why right now. In the NFL... The plays that the throws Marcus Mariota was throwing, he was throwing more of a, just a snap, throw it back to the slot, throw. You're not gonna see like that in the NFL. Ohio State was daring him to throw it down the field, and he really did not perform well when having to go down the field.
I think
missed a lot.
I disagree. I think that where he did, I don't think they were daring to throw it down the field. I think that Ohio State had a good defense. I think that the difference was in the preparation before the game, and just the intensity, the will to win that Urban Meyer has over all other coaches. You could really see that. You look at when Nick Saban was good. Guess who wasn't there?
Yeah.
Urban Meyer wasn't in the league. But I think that the difference between good quarterbacks and great quarterbacks is the ability to take what's there and the ability to not get too greedy. Because, I'll watch a great quarterback and you don't see him throw it down the field all the time. You'll see him, take no shame in throwing it to the check down if there's nothing open. You'll see no shame in him maybe taking a sack and not throwing it away. And I think that's the difference between the good quarterbacks and the great quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
Marcus Mariota's focus, discipline, to not take the bait, because I think that what you saw was them daring him to. Yes, they were daring him to because they were right there waiting to pick off the ball. I think that his discipline to throw it to the check down, and I think that the number of drops from Oregon had. I mean, I don't think the whole team in general, I think, was just too full of themselves coming into the game. Like they just because they came off the 59-20 beating down of Florida State, who wasn't a good team to begin with, whereas Ohio State had. I mean, I would call it a little bit of a squeaker, a little bit of a challenge definitely a challenge, but definitely, I mean, it was a pretty close game against Alabama, a really, good team.
It was a good game.
So I think that the resolve that Ohio State had, the emotional factor, the fact that they've been through so much and were still there, the chemistry that the team had with each other, definitely overcame the talent of Oregon, or maybe, the speed of Oregon.
Well, we have to remember Marcus Mariota lost one of his best receivers. The offensive line really wasn't helping Marcus Mariota at all. The run game wasn't working. I mean, there were a lot of things going against Marcus Mariota.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed watching the game.
Congrats to Ohio State.
Congrats to Ohio State.
Great game.
Congratulations.
Just know Rutgers will get you next year, RU Nation.
Hey.
Are you?